There's so much choice out there when it comes to stacking gold and silver. You can buy nearly anything out there at the moment. And not everything is a good buy, but some things work for different people. I'm going to hopefully give you a little bit of a guide as to what I think is good right now, some of the reasons why I think some of the things I've bought in the past are not so good. And maybe, just maybe, we together can make the right decision for your stack. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for another Precious Metal Ramble. Now I have here a true smorgasbord of gold, silver, and indeed platinum. And that's part of the problem with stacking. There is just so much choice. You can have anything from big chunky 1 ounce bars, or bigger in fact, all the way down to 1/4 ounce or even 1/10 ounce silver Britannias. There is something for everybody. And that something for everybody can sometimes be quite daunting and confusing if you're in accumulation mode and you're looking to buy some gold and silver. So knowing what to buy and some of the pitfalls and pros and cons perhaps of some different types might be quite useful. Hence today's video, helping you maybe tread through those treacherous waters of the different amount of choice that's out there. It can sometimes be very daunting. Now it's worth noting that one person's decision and choices could be completely appropriate for them and not for others. And my opinions on the various different things that we've got here on the table that we're going to talk about might be different to yours. And it would be great to know what you think down in the comment section. There is one type of gold and silver on this table, though, that I think is infallible. It's the best. It always has been the best in my eyes, and I think it always will be the best going forwards. See if you can have a guess which one of all the things you see on the table here I think is the best thing to buy right now and stack. It's just simply the best. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up button as we go throughout the video, and if you're not subscribed and you're enjoying our content, there's a good chance you'll like some of the stuff we might make in the future. So hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Right, on with the video. I'm going to first start about these 1 ounce gold bars. Now, these came in through our buyer's service. They're not mine, so I haven't bought them, but I have had 1 or 2 1 ounce gold bars in the past enter my stack. In fact, I've got one over here off camera, one of the Royal Mint gold bars with the celebration cipher thing. I can't remember exactly what it was for, but there we have it. They're not necessarily my favorite thing. I'm a coin guy, I always have been a coin guy. And I think that's unfortunately what a lot of people out there in the world of stacking also think. But you would kind of think the opposite. Surely gold bars are one of the best things out there. They're the quintessential stacker's tool, aren't they? Maybe not for everybody, but certainly, they are quintessential, aren't they? Gold bars is what backed gold standards, but unfortunately not. The fact that they're not coins does work in their favor. The other problem with gold bars that you have to factor in is they are the most often faked of all the gold out there. There are a lot of gold coins which are faked as well, don't get me wrong, but gold bars tend to be the one that people go to fake, and especially ones in assay cards. Now I haven't, I have to say, seen very many of the Argor Horias faked in assay cards, but I have seen quite a lot of Perth Mint ones faked and Pamp ones faked. There are a lot of those out there in the world. Not a lot have come through over my desk, but I've seen a lot of people sharing them on social media and seeing all about them. And the whole premise is that if it's in an assay card, that gives an illusion of sort of validity. And if you fake the assay card as well as fake the gold bar in there, then people will take it for granted and not check it. With these kind of things, there are ways to check them. You have ability to test them through these bits of plastic, but generally I'd steer clear of gold bars. Now the exception to that is that they can be very cheap, and indeed just yesterday, yesterday, I'm filming on the day I sold them, but this will be published the day after. So yesterday I sold these and they went very quickly. 1% over spot, cheap as chips gold. People are going to love them, and especially this C. Hafner bar. It's very, very nice and I do like it, but not enough to buy it. Even at 1% over spot, I did consider it, but it's just not for me. So gold bars, yes, they can be good if you buy them really cheap, but expect at the end of the day not to get any kind of premium on them. Coins are better. Now, moving on to coins, the size of the coin, the size of the gold coin is a big thing if you're looking to buy gold. At the moment, a 1 ounce gold coin seems far out of reach from a vast majority of stackers. And when you compare it with prices that were paid 5, 6 years, 17, so 7 years ago, and you can see there's a big difference at the moment in that spot price and how it's really affecting the price of the gold. And a 2 ounce gold coin, don't buy it. Just that you're going to struggle to sell that to a private individual, that's for sure. You might be able to sell it to a dealer in due course, but from my perspective, it's not something that everybody should be stacking. There is definitely ways to think about doing it better if you're going to gold. And one of those better ways is sovereigns, for example. So sovereigns hit that sweet spot of being really quite popular and easy for people to check and see and enjoy. And you can see here quality-wise, just bullion sovereigns, you can have them out, you can touch them, feel them, enjoy them. Big, nice coins like that dragon, you kind of want to keep as perfect as possible, but sovereigns are really great. And their fractional nature mean that they are more affordable than a singular 1 ounce gold coin. But what about silver? We've talked a lot about gold. What about silver? Yeah, you can buy silver bars, and there's a lot of silver bars in. Geographically will differ from different countries. There's a lot more people who enjoy silver bar stacking in the USA, for example, but there are a lot of people here in the UK that also like stacking silver bars. But similarly to gold bars, they do have problems with their premium. If you're paying too much for your silver bars on entry point, you're going to have a real hard time selling them on the exit point. And I've certainly seen that here in the UK with people buying new bars from dealers and from the Royal Mint, and then really being quite shocked at the price point that they're not going to get, or the point that they are going to get, which is vastly different to what they paid. And I've had a number of people over the years get in touch looking to sell their Royal Mint bars or their bars they've bought from Atkinson's or Chards. It's not just the Royal Mint, every major UK dealer that has to charge VAT, and they've paid £950 for their kilo bar, and they thought it was a great deal, and then they find out it's worth 600 quid, £700 maybe. People are in for a shock. So yeah, buy silver kilos, but don't overpay for them, and that's the problem. And again, big problem with a silver bar like this, kilo, is that right now you have to find somebody who's going to pay you £750 for this, or £700 at spot price. Is it going to be easy to do? Postage-wise as well, difficult to post this, cheaply anyway, with insurance. I think the cheapest you can post this with insurance is something like £1,200. It's £12, which is not great. It eats into that margin quite considerably. If you've got a lot of them as well, it really does. So how about smaller bits of silver? And I actually realised that I don't actually have any 1 ounce silver coins out here on the table. Let's see if I've got any in my little box here. I've got a 2 ounce and a 1 ounce silver coin. Okay, so these hit a good sweet spot in terms of value price point. 1 ounce of silver, £35, brand new from a dealer, doesn't seem particularly good value, but if you buy it from second-hand sources, like this week, we've been selling some silver at £24 an ounce. I think that's a really good price point right now. It's a good sweet spot. You can liquidate one coin at a time, and if you need a little bit of cash coming in, maybe if you've got 2 ounce coins, 50, 60 pounds a coin, yeah, that's really good. There you go. You can see both monarchs looking in different directions. That's pretty cool. And so 1 ounce silver coins, pretty good. But again, like silver, if you're buying £35 an ounce from a dealer or from the Royal Mint directly, you're going to be in for a shock when you come to sell them at the other end. So it comes down to price. The other thing to factor in for coinage is that you can get things which are capital gains exempt, which is very important here in the United Kingdom. So very much worth thinking about those coins against bars. And for me, in terms of being a serious stacker, you should have a foundation in capital gains tax exempt coinage. And then if you want to have something to enjoy like a big kilo bar, or like me, chop it up and melt it down for poured silver, then sure, go and get some big kilo bars. But what about the smaller fractional silver? I've got here a bunch of really very small bits of silver. In fact, these are not the smallest. I've got some 10th ounce silver Britannias coming in later in the week, which should be really exciting to see. But these are 1/4 ounce Britannias. And at spot price, they're worth about, what, £6 each? Something like, well, no, even less, maybe £5.50 each, something like that. But dealers will sell them for way more. The idea that fractional stuff should be worth more because it's smaller is a little bit of a misnomer. It's just done for that premium convenience. The only real winners on these types of products are the mints that make it and the dealers that sell it. You as the consumer, unfortunately, are going to miss out and lose out on these. If you're paying, again, £34, £35 an ounce or even more, I've seen these go for much more, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble if you need to sell them. Yeah, you can sell one of them for like £6, £7. Great, that's easy, that's fine, but it's not that practical and it's not that easy. And yeah, you can find one buyer for that, but how are you going to post it? You're going to have to pay for postage for someone? It's very difficult to do. So again, if you can buy them cheap, they're pretty good. Maybe they'll be the future of silver stacking. If silver goes to the moon, then maybe we'll see that really take off and be more of a thing. But I think the 1 ounce silver still hits the sweet spot in terms of the price value point. Then we move on to platinum. Oh, everybody's favorite metal that's just lost to the doldrums of time. So I remember the days when platinum was worth more than gold. I wasn't stacking at that point in time, but platinum albums were better than gold albums. In Dungeons and Dragons, the platinum coinage was worth 10 times what gold was worth. But no, not anymore. Platinum is just seemingly a dead metal. It's sitting, at least it's held value, I suppose, compared with its really sort of poor performance compatriot of the palladium world. And I'm very glad I steered way clear of palladium, and certainly ruthenium as well. They're just not performing and sitting at well under half what gold's value is right now. Platinum does seem to be that really kind of, you know, it's just never going to come back, is it? We're never going to see the rise of the platinum albums again, which is a bit sad, really, and it kind of makes me think about the platinum that I've bought. I've got about 3 or 4, I think I've got 4 ounces maybe, and then maybe I've got a proof platinum. I can't remember, quite frankly. I'd have to have a look at all my records, but I think I've got about 3 or 4 ounces of platinum, and I bought it as a hedge. I haven't lost anything on it, but if I'd bought the same amount of money in gold, I'd have doubled my money, quite frankly, and platinum hasn't done that. So from my perspective, platinum has been a bit of a dump kind of investment. It's not been particularly good. It's also not necessarily as attractive as gold. You know, you think about it being quite cool, platinum. Oh yeah, platinum. It just looks a little bit like a dull version of silver. Even silver looks better than platinum. So in terms of buying platinum, I'd say give it a complete skip. If you can buy platinum at spot price, great. If you can buy platinum at like 10% over, great. If you can buy platinum and have the hope within your soul that maybe one day it will be worth what Dungeons and Dragons tells you it should be, and 10 times that of gold, then yeah, go for it. But I don't think we're ever going to get there. So I'd give platinum a hard skip right now. Now, there's a couple of other things I haven't quite got around to talking about, and we're already 12 minutes into the video. Christmas themed stuff. Yeah, probably give Christmas themed stuff a general miss unless it's exactly at Christmas and you want to give it as a gift to somebody. Selling Christmas themed stuff in the middle of summer when it's boiling heat waves outside, it's probably not the best thing to do. It does limit you in terms of when you can sell it at an appropriate market, but at the same time, some people view that as a good way to add value to something. If it gets around to Christmas and you want to sell it, then people might want to buy it at a premium to send it off to loved ones. And then that brings us around to the last coin, which is the sort of colored versions or the proof versions. In fact, we've got 2 lots here. So same kind of category, proof coins and sort of big, fancy colored, high relief type coins that you see from Perth Mint and private mints and other mints like that. This, by the way, we're going to feature on the channel at some point. It's something I've added to my stack and I've bought for myself, but we'll share a little bit more about that in due course. So yeah, these are really difficult. So some are really good and they go on to make a lot of money. I've made some really good profits on some of my proof coins in the past. I've also lost a fair amount of money on some of my proof coins in the past. The idea is if you buy enough good ones and you don't have a lot of bad ones, then overall you'll be up. But it's a really weird one with sort of the way that human nature rationalizes things within your mind. You go, yes, that one I bought over there, it doubled in value, it's great. And then you kind of mitigate and forget all the other 8 coins that you've got that haven't made any money and the 3 others that have lost you quite a lot of money. And overall, you've spent a lot of money to get absolutely nowhere. So interesting, certainly one for collectors. There is money to be made in proof coins, but it's very difficult to do, and it's especially more difficult now than it was 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, especially with the just growth in the market and things that people want to buy. So a lot of really interesting stuff to go through from that perspective. The one thing, though, that I think is best, have you guessed it yet? Have you had a guess down in the comments section? Do give us a little bit of a pause and comment if you haven't done so already. I mentioned them earlier and I really love them, and they're the best thing I think since sliced bread, and that's our humble sovereigns. There is just something so perfect about a sovereign. Now, a lot of people might disagree with me because it's not silver and you think silver is the best thing to buy, but I'm sorry, gold has been categorically better in every single way over the last 8, 9, 10 years, certainly for me in my stacking journey. The size of these are just incredible. The liquidity of them, the premium that you can buy them at spot price on the Silver Forum at the moment, and you can buy them from dealers for 1 or 2% over spot price. They're just brilliant, they're lovely, they're pieces of history, they've got luster to them, they've got some absolute beauty, their color's great. There's just nothing about them that I find to be bad, and that's just wonderful. So from my perspective, the single best thing that you can maybe look to buy are sovereigns. They are great. Now, if you are buying silver, I would say buying silver in coin form. 1 ounce silver coins, 2 ounce silver coins, yep, they're fine too. They're the good ones right now. Buying big kilo bars, just about, if you can manage it, maybe 1 or 2 in your stack, or if you're a big heavy core stacker and you just want a large, big old pile of silver, sure, go and buy large amounts of it. 1 ounce gold bars, maybe give them a miss. But, you know, at 1% over spot price, I don't think it's much of a risk. Certainly compared with silver. That's why gold's better. And that's why when you've categorized like I have there and you say, well, look, the single best metal of them all is gold. I mean, look, I haven't even compared anything to platinum again. Platinum's just a dump metal. Silver, yeah, it's got potential, but is it actually going to do what gold's done over the last decade? No, it's not. Silver's just the poor cousin of this stuff. And gold is what makes the world go round, or at least it used to. And it certainly makes a lot more sense than silver right now, from my perspective. But also, that doesn't mean I'm saying silver's bad. You should buy silver if you can at the right prices, but don't overpay for your stuff. And that's what we've always said on this channel. You know, there are certain categories of silver where you do pay more for things like proof coins and various different fancy bits like that, or older bits of Queen's Beast coins, which have a bit of a premium attached to them, or fractional silver that can be bought at a premium and sold at a premium as well. But it's important to work out how you're going to sell it at the other end. You know, investments, and this is the little message I'll finish with the video because I know I've gone on for quite a long time here today. But, you know, if you've got this desire to get a lot of precious metals in your life, think about how maybe one day you might not have them in your life. Yeah, you might just give them to future generations, but actually just have some sense about what might happen and what you might need to do. And ask yourself, if you buy £35 an ounce silver coinage, are you going to get that if you sell it straight away? No. If you buy a 1 ounce gold bar at 1% over spot, there's a very good chance that you won't lose money on it. You might lose money on paper while spot goes down, but spot will vary up and down, and eventually it'll be all right. And a 1.9% or 1% plus postage 1.9% spread is tiny compared with the 20, 30, 40% spreads that you see on some of the bullion coinage from dealers right now. So anyway, that's my message. That's my thoughts on the various different types. There are plenty of different types of gold and silver that I haven't even talked about in this video. One of them being hand-poured silver, which for some sits in the higher range categories like, you know, your proof coin ranges. I'll give my own little bars a plug here. I haven't got any to show you, but there are some available on my website, just a few left. And sometimes buying something at a premium is just fine. I'm not telling you that you should go and buy these bars because they are at a premium and they take a lot of time, energy and effort to make, but they can be enjoyed and they help support what we do here on this channel. And if you want to support the channel even more, or even better than that, is just watch the stuff that we make, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. You don't have to buy our silver at all. That's not why we do these videos, but I thought I'd just mention it at the end in case you want to do a little bit more to support what we do. There's only, I think, 7 left anyway, so they'll go at some point in the next couple of weeks. That's it from me. A big long ramble today. We haven't done one of these long ones in a while. It's been good to stretch those rambly legs. So a big thank you to the Backyard Bullion Ramblers. You guys are absolutely amazing. And to the Cool Kids Club, you're super extra special cool. Thank you all. We'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.